A beautiful woman suddenly appeared in a prison, holding 108 bachelors. They were about to do something, when they found a note in the woman's hand. Turns out the prison is a giant moving labyrinth. Every once in a while, a new person is sent. What's even weirder is that they were all erased from their memories. For 3 years, no one has been able to escape from here, because the shape of the maze changes every day, until our main character Dylan appears. All this changed when he first appeared in the maze, looking at a bunch of strangers. He ran away, only to find a huge wall 100 meters high blocking in front of him. This left Dylan, whose memory was erased, stunned on the spot. Fortunately, the leader here, AML, taught him about the situation here. That calmed Dylan down. And here is a taboo that must be observed. Just never get out of the maze. Dylan almost believed AML. Unexpectedly, two men ran out of the entrance of the maze. They're called the Walkers. They're the only ones who can get in and out of the labyrinth. Dylan thinks AML is cheating on him. I was about to walk into the labyrinth to find out, when I was pushed to the ground by a man. This man is the strongest will here. Dylan was about to go head to head with him, when a gust of wind suddenly hit the maze behind him. Then there was another loud bang. The 100-meter high steel door is slowly closing. At night, there was another loud noise from the labyrinth. Dylan was told no one could spend a night outside the walls, because every night, there will be a terrifying monster. Everyone who saw his true face is dead. But something strange happened the next day. Dylan, who was exploring the jungle, found a man. Dylan recognized him as the walker who ran back from the maze yesterday. He lunged at Dylan like crazy, and Dylan was frightened and ran away. All those who heard the cries for help rushed forward to help. Just as Dylan was about to be killed, he was successfully rescued. AML, who arrived at this moment, realized that something was wrong. Hurry up and order someone to pull off the walker's clothes. A terrifying wound appeared in front of everyone. Turns out he was infected by a monster, can become manic and bloodthirsty, eventually become a zombie. In order to prevent the virus from spreading, helplessly, the crowd could only take him to the entrance of the labyrinth. Prepare to let him fend for himself here. Dylan wakes up in the morning to see AML and the walker enter the maze again. However, in the evening, they still haven't come back, because no one can spend the night in the maze. Everyone could only wait anxiously for the walker to appear. Just as the steel door was about to close, the two appeared, but then AML was injured and unable to move. Once the door closes, both of them will die. They don't have much time left. Just as the two were hopelessly rescued, Dylan made a surprising move. When night falls, the 100-meter high steel door will slowly close. No one can survive a night outside the door. Dylan can't watch his boss become a burger. He rushed in like crazy. Dylan may have succeeded, but people outside laughed at him for being a fool. It turned out they were in a huge moving maze. And here's what's even scarier. Horrifying monsters appear every night. The two kept looking for a way out, but had no clue. At night, they're going to hang up their injured big brother, who knew that the monster would appear halfway through. As a walker, Minho was the first to run away. Dylan can only temporarily hide in the vines. The monster didn't notice him. He quickly fixed the boss tightly. However, just as he was about to run away, but I stepped on a hot lump of mucus. Then he was dripped with a yellow liquid. Just when he was confused, a monster fell from the sky. Dylan was scared and ran away. But how could a two-legged Dylan possibly outrun an eight-legged monster? Soon he was cornered. Look at the monster's 8 sharp front teeth. He jumped onto the vines 100 meters away. The monster also lunged. Then the two fell to the ground together. Fortunately, the monster is entangled in the vine. That's when Minho shows up and saves Dylan. Just as the two were desperately running away, the moving wall caught Dylan's attention. Looking at the monster in pursuit, now he had a bold idea. When the steel door is opened again, the two finally escaped with the boss. After learning that they had killed a monster, everyone was impressed by Dylan, because this is the first time in 3 years that a monster has been defeated. But Will wasn't convinced. He thought Dylan broke the rules. This will invite even more ferocious retaliation. Well, everyone is arguing. Strange things happen again. Kaya mentioned at the beginning was sent in. From the note, she will be the last person to be sent. She woke up. Just say Dylan's name and pass out. Obviously, someone must be behind the maze. To find the truth of it all, they decided to start with the corpse of the monster. Soon a team was racing towards the maze. When they find the monster that becomes the hamburger, but found that he was a combination of biology and machinery. This means he is obviously artificial. Subsequently, they found a device with a flashing red light among the bodies. Right now they can only take it back. Continuing to study Dylan's bravery has been recognized by everyone. Minho also brought Dylan to his secret base. It turns out that the task of the walker is to draw a map. Minho thinks the maze is divided into 8 areas. Only District 7 has never been explored, and the number 7 on the device is. It is very likely that there are clues to the exit hidden. The next day, they entered the labyrinth impatiently, headed straight for District 7. When they arrived, the device beeps. Dylan, based on the strength of the voice, soon came to a gate. As the indicator light changes, 300-ton steel doors opened. The two carefully walked over. I saw a red light flashing in the cave. There was another loud noise in the base. Dylan doesn't feel good. The two quickly fled for their lives. At this time, the steel doors in the area are closing one by one. They were in a desperate race against death. With his excellent physical fitness, they finally escaped to District 5. But more terrifying is yet to come. 100-ton boulders rise from the ground. Finally, they found the exit, escaped the moment the stone door closed. After returning to camp, they quickly told the crowd the secret of the labyrinth. Just then, Kaya was awakened by the woman who was finally delivered. The confused Kaya said, calling Dylan in a coma, and Dylan also frankly often dreams of Kaya. It's obvious that they should be related. Kaya then took out the potions. Dylan thinks the boss AML should need this more. Next second, the 3-meter-long syringe was plunged into the boss's body. After a while, the boss successfully woke up. At this moment, he remembered everything. It was also said that Dylan was behind the scenes. He questioned Dylan's true purpose in coming here. At this moment, everyone present was confused. Just then, the camp is restless again. It closes on time every day. The stone door suddenly opened this time, just as everyone was confused. Several monsters appeared in the stone gate. They just bite. The unarmed crowd is no match at all. They can only let the monsters kill like crazy. Dylan leads everyone to a cellar. Suddenly the roof was punctured by a monster. The boss was unfortunately captured, about to be killed. He told Dylan to lead everyone out, wait for everyone to catch up. Found that the monster had disappeared. Will questioned Dylan. It all started because of him, and Dylan, whose memory was erased, couldn't refute him. He looked at the monster virus in Chubby's hand, thinking of the boss. It was because of the injection of the drug after the infection that his memory was restored. So he started experimenting with himself. Sure enough, his memory came back. Original. Dylan and Kaya are both behind the maze. The two couldn't bear to see the people in the fascinated palace die one after another. They want to rescue everyone, but the memory was erased by the accomplice and thrown into the labyrinth. Will, who knows the truth, deepens his hatred for the two. He decided to sacrifice the people to please the masterminds behind the scenes. Fortunately, they were rescued by the walkers and others. Dylan thinks it's better for everyone to die here. It's better to give it a go and find a new way out. That's why some people choose to follow Dylan. Everyone soon returned to the 7th district, facing the monsters guarding the exit. Everyone rushed up directly. The monster is no match for the crowd, pushed forcibly into a cliff. However, more monsters appeared. Kaya hurries into the hole, only to find that the door here has a combination lock. Kaya says the combination lock needs 8 digits. This got Dylan thinking about the 8 areas of the maze, and his order is probably the password. The only person who knows the password right now is Minho. Unexpectedly, he was crushed by a monster, falling from the sky halfway through his speech. In the nick of time, a teammate rushed up and saved Minho in time. Kaya just opened the door. Then a group of monsters were crushed into hamburgers by 300-ton stone doors. After pushing open the door, everyone finally arrived at the base. After passing through a corridor, they pushed open the laboratory door. But this place is already littered with corpses. It was like a massacre. When they came to the laboratory, a woman suddenly appeared on the screen. She claims to be the head of the Earth's Dead Zone laboratory. This moment, everyone finally knew the truth behind the labyrinth. It turns out that solar flares scorched the outside world. This resulted in billions of people being burned to death. And here's what's even scarier. Surviving humans, infected with a virus called Flash syndrome. And people like Dylan are naturally resistant to viruses. Antibodies can only be excited in extreme environments. That's why they're locked in the labyrinth. Before the woman could finish speaking, a group of soldiers rushed into the laboratory. She had to raise the gun and kill herself. Dylan, who knows the truth, ready to lead the crowd to save the world. That's when Will appears infected, and he becomes delirious. Minho just sent him away with one stick. Suddenly, a heavily armed team broke in. Dylan and others were forcibly taken on the plane. The moment the plane takes off, they finally got a full view of the labyrinth. For the first time in 3 years, they managed to escape the maze. However, the crisis did not end there.
Well, I think it's safe to say the maze trials were complete success.
Unexpectedly, Dylan went to great lengths to escape the maze. Now we will face another. On his way to unraveling the truth, what is waiting for him?